seconds in great hands and finish.
Ripped away by Wesley.
Damn! 1 point game. Wesley tornadoes in. Woo!
Wesley off the fake. Teardrop, yes.
Not allowing the Irish to just
emotional, damn it!
Yo, it's your boy Dctree, and this is Dctree-Nation, the channel on YouTube that covers hoops and heroes. And today we're talking hoops, talking about San Antonio Spurs, y'all. And the Spurs, yet again, took another guard in the first round. Okay, I did a video on Branham. I have that linked above if you want to check that out. They got my boy Sohan. Check that out, that video out as well. But man, I was really okay with the first two picks, but this one was questionable in my opinion, very questionable, because the Spurs are lock jammed at the guard position or the wing position, whatever you want to call it. So this one kind of threw me off, man. I much rather have took a chance on Jovic, if I'm being honest. But before I jump too deep into it, if you like my content, please sub to the channel, hit that like button, don't forget to hit that bell for more videos. Thank you so much for the continued support. Now, to be fair to the San Antonio Spurs, this guy does come across as talented. He does have this uncanny ability to get up, you know, hell of a vertical, very fast guard, man. I haven't seen a guard this fast on the Spurs probably since Tony Parker. He is so fast with the basketball. He has the athletic ability, but he is just missing the tangibles. So that's probably why they felt like he was a good pick. You know, this is a guy that could spend the whole year in Austin easily, develop into the player the Spurs need him to be, and be ready to back up DeJounte the following season. You know, this guy, he has a lot of upside, and you know, I get why they picked him, but because the Spurs having so many problems with size, I probably would have went with Jovic just to try to, you know, diversify the lineup a little bit. You get what I'm saying? But this guy is almost guaranteed to be in Austin, when technically his talent probably should have him on a squad, have him on a team. Maybe not starting, obviously, maybe not getting heavy minutes, but at least getting something, 15-20 minutes a game on a lesser team. For the San Antonio Spurs, he'd be lucky to get 5 minutes on this squad. So I wonder how that's going to work with his psyche, work with his confidence. And that's what I really it comes down to when we pick these guards. I'm like, okay, I get that they're talented, I get that we're kind of searching for the player, you know, I get that we need talent, but if we got all these, you know, guards and no slots to play them, no minutes to play them, do they really help us, man? It goes back to an old adage, you know, if a tree falls in the forest and no one's there to hear it, does it make a sound? You know, I'm not trying to get too philosophical on y'all, but I mean, this guy, his highlights are great. Speed, strength, size, vertical. But when is he going to play? You know, so is at this point, it's like, what are we doing? So I don't know if the Spurs are planning on, like I said in the last video, getting rid of Lonnie Walker, maybe packaging Vassell. I don't know, you know, and even you could even say get rid of DJ, but to me, I feel like that would be a step back, because although we got these great talented guards, first round guards, they're not proven in the NBA yet. So you have to almost hold on to DJ at least another year for insurance. So is that what this is? Is this DJ insurance? Because, you know, in a couple of years, DJ may ask for the max contract. Is that what this is? I don't know what the Spurs are doing, man. But this whole situation with him, I'm not going to say it feels unnecessary, but it feels like an insurance policy. You know, that's what it feels like. Hey, let's stick this guy in Austin for a couple years, and maybe he could develop at the very minimum into our backup point guard, which I could see him being a hell of a backup point guard for the San Antonio Spurs. So a player like Trey Jones, you know, may see his position taken, you know, and if he really explodes, I guess he could potentially, you know, be a replacement for DJ as well. So, you know, again, I don't think it was a bad move, but I hope fans realize what type of move this is. I hope Blake Wesley understands what type of move this is. You're not going to play next year unless you just come into training camp killing folks. You're not going to play next year for the Spurs like that. You're going to be in Austin most of the year. trying to develop your skills, because one of his, a lot of his weaknesses deals with his shooting. He's like 60% from the free throw line, like 37% overall, 30% from, I think, 3. He's out of control a lot of the times because he's so fast. So he has I think he's averaging like 2.6, 2.7 turnovers a game. He wasn't necessarily a starter in college. He was coming off the bench fighting for minutes. So it's a lot of questions surrounding his raw talent. So I can see the Spurs saying, hey, we're going to see what we have with this guy. We're going to develop him for a couple years, and hopefully he becomes an NBA player, and then we can bring him into the fold, which isn't necessarily the worst strategy, especially with all these guards we have on the team. Granted, though, like I said before, if we were going to go the project route, if we're going to go, hey, let's stash this guy for a couple years and see what he becomes, I would have much rather went Jovic. That's why I had him in my mock draft at going 25. That made sense, man. Our roster is almost full. You get what I'm saying? We potentially got 2 players that we really need that can help us now. Let's use that 3rd first-round pick to kind of experiment a little bit. Not with another guard, because we got guards for days, but with a player like Jovic that could be, a big small forward, big power forward for us in the future. Why not go with that instead of another guard with athletic ability? And I get it. It may pan out. He is athletically gifted. Blake Wesley is. But man, we don't know if this is going to work out anytime soon. And I just don't see us having the time or the minutes for him. Because if you think about it, ideally Murray is going to get better. At least stay solid enough for him to keep a starting spot on the Spurs, you would think. That's not beyond the realm of imagination, is it? And then by then, Primo hopefully has broken out. So you have a backcourt of Murray and Primo. And then we got Branham. Branham has shown promise, before he even became a Spur. So what if he lives up to his potential? That's 3 guards right there. So are we looking for a backup point guard? Is this guy going to be the backup point guard? Our small forward positions is probably going to be solid if we keep Keldon and Vassell. So I'm like, where does this guy fit in? I don't know. So I honestly think Brian Wright was just being honest, like, hey, we're going to get the most talented player we see, and we'll worry about the rest later, which, again, isn't the worst strategy, but it has fans like myself, and I'm sure the players themselves scratching their heads a little bit like, man, we getting log jam at several positions where we could get some more flexibility around the power forward center position. Pirtle's doing good. I like Landale, etc. But shoot, you can get some guys that can put the ball on the floor a little bit more athletically, And I see that they're doing something with Dom. I'll have a video about that later on. But it just bears the question what we're doing. So at the end of the day, I can live with this pick. It wouldn't have been the pick I would have made, obviously. But I can live with it if he doesn't interfere with Primo's growth. If he doesn't interfere with Murray growth. If he doesn't log jam the lineup with Branham coming on board. This guy, I hate to say it, but I kind of want him to chill in Austin for most of the year, develop or whatnot. Unless he just, pulls a Tony Parker and, training camp, obviously, then he earns the minutes. I just don't foresee that, seeing his inconsistencies with shooting and whatnot. All right, guys, that's it for this one. Check out other videos on the channel. Let me know in the comments how you feel about this, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.